As we head into April, will a severe weather outbreak be in store? I'll be breaking that all down coming up in this video. Yeah, y'all, welcome back. Looks like we do have some severe weather to talk about today, as there's a marginal risk that's been issued for these two areas from Texas on up into Missouri and Nebraska on up into southwestern Minnesota. Now, the main hazards today is going to be a low wind tornado threat just for Texas and Oklahoma. Same goes for the damaging wind threat, 5% chance for Texas and Oklahoma. As far as the hail threat goes, 5% has been issued for both marginal risk zones. So if you live within the marginal risk zones today, please be weather aware. But the main story is going to be on Friday. There is 2 moderate risks that have been issued in these red zones here. Now, anybody within these colored zones, y'all have to be weather aware tomorrow, regardless of what threat you're under. But the greatest chance of seeing severe weather is within the orange and red zones here. Now, as far as tornado threat goes, a 15% hatch area in the red and a 10% hatch area in the yellow. Pretty significant tornadoes tomorrow, so it looks like a tornado outbreak is in store. The greatest chance for seeing damaging winds is up here by Iowa and Illinois. In the pink zone here, there's a 30% within the red zone. And as far as the large hail threat goes, there's a 30% hatched area in eastern Iowa. But either way, if you live with any of these colored zones, just remain weather aware, as it looks like a severe weather outbreak is in store tomorrow. Now, as far as Saturday's threat goes, there is a marginal risk which spans from the Panhandle of Florida on up into the Carolinas and up here into New York. Looks like on Tuesday there's another severe weather threat in store, as there's a 30% area for severe weather spanning from Texas on up into southwestern Illinois and a 50% in the yellow here. So it looks like it's going to be a pretty active into March. Take a look at the weather models. Take a look at the date and time when you could expect the worst from the severe weather. We're looking at the marginal risk zones for today. Looks like the southern side of the severe weather down here in the southern marginal risk zone. I expect the worst of it to happen from right around 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock today. Up in the northern zone, I expect it to happen between 10 o'clock to midnight. Now keep in mind, down here in the southern zone, y'all are under the 2% chance for tornadoes and 5% chance for damaging winds. And up here in the northern zone, y'all are under the gun for large hail today. Just a low end threat for the hazards, but still remain weather aware if you live within the marginal risk zones for today. As we head off into Friday, there's a bigger chance of seeing severe weather. It looks like it's going to get started around 6 o'clock, because there's going to be some renegade supercells forming ahead of the main line. Now, with any renegade supercell could spawn a pretty significant tornado, so please know your severe weather action plan. Know where to go when that tornado warning goes off, preferably a storm shelter, basement, keeps me well tuned in the outside as possible. And there will be some large hail as well, so keep your cars in the garage or anything you don't want damaged outside. And there's going to be a pretty significant wind threat as well, as it turns into a more organized squall line as it heads eastward through the overnight hours and starts to diminish as we head into Friday. There's also a chance for flooding as well, as there's a slight risk for excessive rainfall, so turn around, don't drown, y'all know the drill. And if you live with any of these risk zones for tomorrow, I can't stress this enough, just remain weather aware. And it looks like there's a marginal risk in the Carolinas and up into the Northeast by April Fools. It looks like that's going to be happening from noon to 1 o'clock up there by Ohio and New York. Down the Carolinas, it looks like about the same. Now, we don't know the main hazards just yet, and I will keep y'all updated. Other than severe weather and flooding, we do have some winter weather to talk about. There's some winter storm warnings, watches, and advisories issued. So let's go ahead and break down the time frame when you could expect the worst from the winter storms. Now, down there in California, y'all are under the winter storm warning until right around 2 o'clock tonight, so really not much to worry about down there. Focus our attention to the northern plains. Looks like it's going to be gaining intensity as we head into the overnight hours tonight into the mid-morning hours of Friday. And it's going to be getting out of the winter storm watch area by the early morning hours of April Fool's Day. Now, this is no April Fool's joke, by the way, and it's going to be heading off into the upper Midwest, and then heading off to the Northeast by the evening hours of April Fools. Now, expect this winter storm watch here to turn into a winter storm warning. As you can see within this winter storm watch area, I expect on 8 to 12 within this whole zone here. Some areas could see more than a foot of snow. As we head southwestward towards Utah, now the upper elevations are obviously going to see more. You see about 18.5 inches north of Ogden. As we head into California, it's not showing any snow for some reason. As I pull up wording by the National Weather Service, see 2 o'clock this afternoon for up to 5 inches of snowfall and 15-mile-an-hour winds. So if you live within any of these winter storm warnings and watch areas, you have to get on the road. Please be careful. Pack that safety kit with you, as there is a moderate risk for travel that is issued out here in the northern plains. So let's go ahead and we'll take a look at the long-range forecast models to see what's coming up as we head towards April. Looking at the Euro model, keep in mind the date and time is right here above my head if you want to keep track. We don't got that severe weather threat for the next coming days, as well as a big springtime winter storm up there in the northern plains. And after that, it looks like it's going to be pretty quiet out there. If you're heading out to WrestleMania this weekend, watching the Tribal Chicken beat up on Cody Rhodes, looks like it's going to be pretty nice over there in California. And after that, there's going to be a big storm system setting up on Tuesday. and that's going to be responsible for bringing a 30% chance for severe weather. Now, we don't know the exact hazards and exact timing just yet. I will have a video out on Tuesday breaking down the exact timing and hazards, so please stay tuned for that. It looks like on the northern side of that severe weather threat, there could be an ice storm and blizzard-like conditions, and potentially some flooding out east. Now, after that moves out, looks like we're going to be dealing with another severe weather event. Now, this is over 200 hours out. Keep that in mind. That'll be getting out. It looks like we're going to be dealing with a flooding situation. Let's go ahead and take a look at the temperature anomalies. Then we'll take a look at the temperature outlooks. Now, it looks like as we head towards the middle of April, it looks like we're heading into a warm up a little bit, and that's going to cool down a little bit. So it looks like a significant warm-up is on the way for the southeastern part of the country. The northwestern part of the country is looking pretty cold. Now it looks like the Climate Protection Center is in agreement as the eastern part of the country is above average and the western part of the country in the blue is below average. Now the next 8 to 14 days, just about the same really. As far as precipitation goes, we know we got that flooding event's going to be happening Friday. Looks like most of the country is going to be above average as far as precip goes in 8 to 14 days. Looks like the northwest part of the country is going to be below average and the rest of the country is going to be above average. Now how above average are temperatures going to get for the eastern part of the country? Let's just take a look here. Now, it looks like later today it's going to be pretty warm for the eastern part of the country, pretty cold for the western part. As we head into Friday, this is why they issued the moderate risk. A lot of instability in the atmosphere, as you can see. Some upper 70 temperatures spreading up into Illinois and Indiana and over here in Iowa. And there's going to be a drastic cool down as the cold front's going to be coming through by Saturday morning. And it's going to warm up again and cool off, and we're heading into a drastic warm up again. So it's definitely springtime for much of the country. We'll be heading into a more spring-like pattern. So it looks like a pretty active end of March. We got some severe weather and springtime winter storms. It looks like a warm up is on the way as well, and I also like to have some feedback as well from y'all. Do you like the way I do it, or do y'all want to see a more in-depth analysis when we have severe weather? Comment below. Any constructive feedback helps the channel out. Now, I might do a live stream as well. I'm testing it out, so please be on the lookout for that. I may or may not do it. Just depends. And don't forget to acknowledge your tribal chief this weekend, as he will beat the Cody Rhodes. So if you liked the video, please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe down below, and don't forget to comment as well. And until next time, never stop forecasting.